So the next part of this conversation, this is kind of a two-part topic. The thing I want to bring up is what this means for Xbox Now. Previously, you said, Jordan, that this has to be
Xbox Now, like PlayStation Now.
This has to be $600. It's really tough for you to see it cheaper than that. My big thing is that Xbox and Phil Spencer have seen the ramifications of launching at a crazy price point, no matter how quote unquote powerful your console is. We've seen what they did with Digital Foundry today. They've seen how bad an announcement of an iteration of a console can be with PlayStation. Like, they learned, right? They're learning. Here's the thing. If they have an event before E3 to name the console, show it off, and give a price, I think you have a probability of it being $600. If they hold off till E3, I really do think that they're going to wow people with the price point. I really believe that Phil Spencer would not allow them to go all the way to E3 just to announce that this thing's $600. You know what I mean? He would want to get that news out as soon as possible. And I really think because it seems like we're not going to get an event, the way Digital Foundry made it sound, we're going to get to look at the box at E3, I really think they're going to surprise us with the price point. It's a weird thing here because Microsoft has a lot of money to burn. Not that they want to burn it all, but they can take a loss, right?
They could sell it at a loss.
Yeah. And the thing too, which is the opposite end of this, which wouldn't be surprising if it was $600, is that unlike Sony with PlayStation, Microsoft doesn't wholly rely on Xbox. Yeah, they want it to be profitable, but it isn't their go-to. It isn't their cash cow. So they're willing to not sell as many beefy Xboxes in return for not losing a lot of money because they don't rely heavily on those software sales with Xbox, you know? Whereas PlayStation does so much Sony does so much focusing on PlayStation. So I really think that if we have an event before E3, it could be $600. If we don't hear about this till E3, I would bet a lot of money, $600, that that it won't be $600. I really don't think so.
So are you guys both going with a $499 and I'm going with $599?
No. So a lot of people are thinking $400, which I think is plausible, but it's way on the more crazy side of things, right? I think $500.
I mean, that's where PS4 Pro launched and is still at.
Yeah. And I think $500 is on the more comfortable side. If I was a betting man, I would go with $449.99. I think even cutting that $50, even though it's not a full 100, I think could make a big deal. 500, I wouldn't be surprised at. Anything more than that would definitely say that they want to sell Xbox One S's, and this is really just a super niche thing, which I don't think
I would say they'd go. I don't think they can go under 500, and not only that, but I just don't see them going with a 50. I think they'd rather Sony and Sony and Microsoft with their consoles. It seems like they like to round it off, and then Nintendo, like they did with Wii U, they might be cool with having their price tag end in a 49.
So I'm kind of with you guys. So I'm looking down. I have my predictions written down that we did. It must have been in December. We did 2017 predictions, right? So I predicted Scorpio would release at 400. Now looking at these specs, I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it's probably 500, 450 best case. But I hate to go back on my prediction, but that's in gold, or that's in stone, of course. But
yeah,
I think realistically it'll be 500.
And here's the biggest thing.
I bet 6.
Yeah, the biggest thing too with this is like this console's great, awesome. What's the software for this thing? Because that'll be a huge selling point too. If people hear this console's super powerful and then they get to see some of the games, like if they see Red Dead running on this thing, or they see the first party games, the Crackdown 3s and stuff, the software will sell this too, but there needs to be that software. And that's the tough thing is like we don't really know if there's going to be an event beforehand where they showcase this even more, right? I think this was a super smart play to get all the tech stuff out of the way in this article. Like Dom said in the previous topic, the people who want to know this information will find it, and Digital Foundry is the place they go to. It's trusted, right?
Very smart to go with that company specifically for the tech stuff.
Yeah, and the average person just wants to hear it's powerful. They don't care how many teraflops, all of this GPU. They don't care about that stuff. They want to know, okay, this console is the most powerful console. Cool. Now show me games. So if at E3 you show off how cool the console looks design-wise, you name a price that hopefully isn't $600, and then you show off a shit ton of awesome games, that will sell them. they were smart enough. The problem PlayStation had with PS4 Pro, amongst a lot of things with that announcement, is that we're trying to talk about all this tech jargon to people who can't really see it through their computer screen or don't care enough, right? So I think the way they divvied this up, if they have another, they didn't really have an event, but if they have another announcement where it's like a Nintendo Direct kind of thing, or a little press conference, obviously for the Scorpio, and they give us the name, the price, and look at the box, that means that at E3 they can focus, as Phil Spencer said hundreds of times, we need to focus on the software because we understand that's what people care about most, and that's what people feel as if we're not delivering on the most. That means that at E3 they can just focus on the games. Oh yeah, remember Scorpio's coming out, and put that at the end or the beginning, and not have to worry about, here's the console, here's the price, here's the release date, here's what it looks like, now games. And then no matter how short that presentation is at the beginning or the end, it's going to be hard for people not to be like, well, you said it was going to be all games, but this 2-minute section wasn't games, Yeah. So
I gotta say, I'm super fucking excited for E3 this year. Of course, you got PlayStation, which is going to excite me, but then you got these two wild cards in both Nintendo and Microsoft that I think are going to be big no matter what, because they kind of have to be. And so real excited for the Xbox conference.
The other thing I never pointed out, going through the specs and everything, this thing will have no problem with VR. It's going to give you a way better VR experience than PS4 Pro. So whatever they have planned for
Xbox One does not have any VR compatibility at the moment. So
at the moment,
that's going to be interesting. Are they going to go with Oculus, or are they going to be stingy because they only want to have Microsoft HoloLens coming in a couple of years, or what?
I think it's a big deal. So and maybe I'm in the minority here, but right now, as good as this all sounds, given I'm not going to be able to buy this thing, and probably by the time I could, be more interested in what will be the PS5 around the corner, right? But the big but here is, if Fallout 4 comes to this in VR and it's some sort of exclusive deal, then I'm just going to spin around in a circle and it combust because I'm going to have to buy the damn thing.
Yeah, they had John Carmack on stage last year for VR with Oculus, and I really think that wasn't by accident. Recently, Oculus has gone through a lot of stuff. Obviously, they're owned by Facebook. They recently let go of Palmer Luckey, who had a lot of interesting investments. We'll just put it that way.
When did they let go of him?
About a week ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He's gone.
Wow.
They didn't say if he stepped down or if he was let go. I'm pretty sure he was let go because of the whole controversy that surrounded him. And that could be key to, what if Microsoft was one of the biggest, brands in the world, is like, we want to partner with Oculus, but we don't want this. Like, people know, like, oh, that Oculus isn't that part of the dude that funded Donald Trump, for better or for worse, right? And it could be better PR for them. Who knows? The fact of the matter is that if Xbox, the way Phil Spencer's talked about VR, I don't know if we'll see VR this year, because he said we're taking a sit and wait approach. We want to wait for the components to be a lot more user friendly without all the cords and the bulkiness and all the stuff. So we could definitely see hints of VR. I said before, and I'll say it again, the fact that they positioned themselves before Bethesda, I think, could be a key hint at Fallout VR. Yeah, I think that's a huge hint, because They you don't want Bethesda to go first, show off Fallout VR and be like, it's exclusive or it's coming to Xbox, Project Scorpio, and they had to call it Project Scorpio in their thing because they haven't said what the actual name of the console is, because Microsoft wouldn't go till Monday.
Very astute of you, Jared.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. Fallout VR, I don't think it would intrigue me enough, but I do appreciate the way Microsoft handles tech and stuff, and I'd be interested to see their foray into VR. But like you said, I'm really excited for E3 because Phil Spencer, like we've talked about numerous times, he's shown that he knows what he's doing. And until he shows us a mistake, then we have to basically take him for the net positive he's done, right? So I really think him saying they're focusing on games, like Microsoft goes first. And though Red Dead, Sony has the exclusive marketing rights to that stuff, imagine if the first time we see Red Dead outside of that teaser trailer is running on Project Scorpio. That's going to be huge. Like, there's plenty of people through marketing or through E3 otherwise, thought that Destiny was an exclusive for the PlayStation, which is odd. You know?
Well, it's worth noting that I'm pretty sure they've already sided with PlayStation on Red Dead because they have
Well, no, the
exclusive
marketing,
multiplayer.
Yeah,
They have exclusive multiplayer content coming out. Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that Rockstar wouldn't want it to be shown on Microsoft stage. That has nothing to do with
not
marketing.
necessarily, but they just I mean, as soon
It
as
could
they
be a part
put
of
that,
the deal.
Yeah.
as soon as the reveal trailer came up, they immediately aligned themselves with PlayStation. So that's worth saying.
But there have been plenty of rumors from people inside the industry saying that we would see Forza Horizon 7, Forza Motorsport 7, sorry.
I was like,
Yeah.
they're skipping 4 of those?
Battlefront 2 and Red Dead when we get the Scorpio announcement or whatever that is. That's a huge rumor floating around right now. So
Battlefront definitely, because EA has been aligning with Xbox. They did for Battlefield 1, right? So
EA Access as well.
No, not necessarily. I'd say you're guaranteed to get Battlefront 2 for PlayStation because Battlefront 1 was all about PlayStation. They had an exclusive console and exclusive DLC and all kinds of stuff.
That's right, they did. And then Battlefield 1 had an Xbox console, like the One X that was green or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was brown.
So
it was like a diarrhea brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're all excited for what Xbox is going to hold at E3, and it, like I said before, it's going to be interesting to see if we have an announcement of the Scorpio before E3 and how they handle that. I mean, my inclination.
I think this was it.
I don't
it's
know.
2 months, baby.
I don't know because he said, Phil Spencer said that E3 is all about games. I don't know. I could understand where you're coming from, where it's like they got all the tech stuff out, they want to do the pretty or the fun stuff at E3. So we'll see.
I mean, they can kind of just give us it's all about games, but you're going to say, if you make the whole conference about Scorpio and Scorpio's games, then no one's going to care that you're not talking about Xbox One, and then you've succeeded in both of the other 2 goals. So I think they could totally, just kind of make that their Scorpio reveal event.